Before I start, this is the second part of the Attack on Titan movie. You'll find the link to the first part in the description below this video. Without further delay, let's begin. We continue with a flashback of Eren as a child. We see that Eren's father conducted an experiment on him, injecting Eren with a serum that altered his DNA. This serum could transform Eren into one of the Titans. Eren's mother didn't want her son to be injected with anything, but Eren's father told her that when Eren grows up, he will play a crucial role in saving humanity thanks to this serum. Captain Zeke was present, took Eren, and hid him. After that, the government appeared to arrest Eren's father and mother because they had received word that Eren's father was conducting secret experiments, something that was forbidden for commoners to do. Commander Kubal was in charge of the soldiers. When Eren's parents resisted, the soldiers killed them while Eren and Captain Zeke were hiding. Commander Kubal then burned the entire library. Captain Zeke took Eren and escaped. Back to the present, Eren wakes up to find the soldiers tying him up and pointing their weapons at him. It was Commander Kubal who ordered Eren's capture because Kubal was displeased that Eren had turned into a Titan. Kubal had a specific theory and philosophy. He explained how humanity had united after living behind the walls and having a common enemy, the Titans. Even though food supplies decreased, people were happy because, in the simplest terms, everyone was equal and no one was superior to anyone else. But Eren's ability to transform into a Titan threatened that way of life. Kubal also said that he had never seen a human turn into a Titan before. What Eren did meant he was essentially a Titan, hiding among humans. On top of that, his destroyed limbs regenerated, which no ordinary human could do. Eren tries to explain to Kubal that he's just a normal human, but Kubal was determined to kill him. Right before they were about to execute Eren, Armin steps in to defend him, saying, "Eren is the one who saved us. He's the only one who can protect us from the Titans." Captain Hang was also against the decision to kill Eren. Armin insists that Eren can help them by sealing the breach in the wall. But Kubal snaps at Armin, saying, "You stay quiet. You're accused of stealing the explosives cart." Kubal then orders the soldiers to ready their weapons to kill Eren. At that moment, Captain Zeke intervenes, explaining to everyone the extent of Eren's power. He says that Eren can control his transformation and turn into a Titan at will, but loses consciousness whenever he transforms. Before Zeke could finish speaking, the soldiers shoot him, killing him on the spot. As Zeke lies dying, he tries to tell Eren something important, but he dies before he can say it. Suddenly, a Titan appears, jumping down from the roof and crushing General Kubal and several soldiers. The remaining soldiers fire at the Titan, but their bullets have no effect. They see that this Titan's body is covered in armoured plating. The Titan easily kills the soldiers, grabs Eren. Some soldiers try to fly in and attack the Titan's neck, but the Titan blocks their strikes, fully aware of their every move. The Titan looks at Mikasa with a strange expression, then walks away with Eren in hand. After that, Captain Hangir becomes the new general, replacing Kubal. She decides to continue with the plan to seal the breach in the wall, but first they need to retrieve a bomb from a specific location. Meanwhile, Eren wakes up in a strange room, hearing bizarre music playing. He sees the device playing the music but doesn't understand what it is, because it's a machine from 100 years ago. The music stops, and Shikishima appears in the room. Shikishima tells Eren, "I saved you from the Titan that kidnapped you, but I couldn't kill it. It escaped from me." After that, Shikishima starts showing Eren old videos from 100 years ago. The videos explain how the Titans first appeared. It turns out that the Titans were originally ordinary humans. At one point, humanity wanted to create superhumans to use in wars, and they succeeded in creating the Titans we know today by injecting humans with a virus that transformed them. The person who created this virus was Eren's father, but the experiment failed because they lost control of the Titans. The virus kept spreading among people, turning more of them into Titans and causing destruction worldwide. The Titans themselves were immortal. They would keep living, with no end to their hunger, and nothing could kill them, except the weak spot we already know. Humanity eventually went to war against the Titans, leading to the history we're familiar with. Shikishima then tells Eren that the survivors of those wars lived behind the walls up until the present day. He explains that the government wanted people to forget their past to control them more easily. Shikishima also reveals that the attack on the walls was orchestrated by the government itself to keep people living in fear, ensuring the government retained its grip on power. However, Shikishima didn't know who exactly within the government was pulling the strings. He believed that Eren was their hope, because Eren remained conscious when he transformed into a Titan. Shikishima tells him, "You and I can stop the government from keeping people as slaves." They both step outside, and Shikishima shows Eren his group of men and the explosives they had stolen from General Kubal. He hands Eren the gear that allows him to fly. Meanwhile, the soldiers successfully retrieve the bomb they were planning to detonate to seal the breach in the wall. Mikasa remembers her happy days in that place with Eren, but suddenly, Shikishima's men appear, pointing their weapons at them. Eren shows up in the middle of the group and goes to greet Mikasa. She's overjoyed to see Eren alive. Shikishima appears as well and inspects the bomb the soldiers brought. He tells everyone, "We're going to use this bomb for something else. We'll blow up the wall and let all the Titans in to destroy the entire army and the government." Eren is shocked by what Shikishima says. He had no idea this was the plan. Eren thought they were going to use the bomb to seal the wall. He tells Shikishima, "If we do this, innocent people will die along the way." But Shikishima insists that those people deserve to die because they allowed themselves to live under the rule of a corrupt government. He tells Eren, "Join me, and we'll be the ones to win." But Eren remembers all the people who died because of the Titans. He yells at Shikishima, refusing to side with him. Eren charges at Shikishima and punches him, but Shikishima grabs Eren and slams him to the ground. Eren gets back up and tries to attack again, but Shikishima dodges every strike, knocking Eren down over and over. Shikishima taunts him, saying, "Turn into a Titan!" But no matter how many times Eren gets up and tries to fight back, he keeps getting beaten down. Mikasa steps in, pleading with Shikishima to stop, but Shikishima laughs and kisses Mikasa in front of Eren. Enraged, Mikasa slaps Shikishima across the face. Shikishima responds by throwing her to the ground as well. Seeing Mikasa hurt, Eren loses control and attacks Shikishima again. But he still can't land a hit and keeps getting beaten down. Armin and another soldier named Sanagi were desperate to help Eren in any way they could. They spotted a partially collapsed building nearby, while Shikishima raised his weapon to finish off Eren. Armin shouted, "Stop right there or I'll blow up the entire place with explosives. We'll all die." He ordered Sanagi to take Eren and put him in the transport vehicle. But Shikishima wasn't afraid of Armin or his threats. He commanded his men to shoot Armin, but suddenly, a grappling hook flew past Shikishima's head and latched onto the building. It was Sanagi. His plan was to bring the building down onto the explosives, triggering a massive blast. He yelled for Armin to escape with Eren as fast as he could, then started pulling the building down with all his strength. Shikishima's soldiers opened fire on Sanagi, killing him. But in his last moment, Sanagi managed to collapse the building onto the explosives. The blast erupted, engulfing the entire area. Armin seized the opportunity, sped away with Eren in the vehicle, and escaped the fiery destruction. Everyone in the blast radius seemed to have died, but Shikishima emerged from the wreckage, still alive. He climbed onto the vehicle, determined to seize the bomb. Then, shockingly, he drew his sword and stabbed himself with it. Bones and strange structures began to sprout from Shikishima's back as he started transforming into a Titan. Armin watched in horror, realizing the truth. Shikishima was the Titan that attacked them and kidnapped Eren after Kubal died. Seeing this, Eren, overwhelmed with rage and despair, tried to stab himself to transform as well. But Jean stopped him, saying, "We're not sure if the same thing will work for you." Jean reassured him, "We'll fight Shikishima together, and we'll defeat him." Shikishima, in his Titan form, started approaching the team, showing off his strength by killing 2 Titans that appeared in the area. The squad flew through the air with their gear, darting in multiple directions to distract him. Sasha launched an attack on Shikishima's eye, temporarily blinding him. Meanwhile, Jean circled around Shikishima, slashing at him with his swords, and Mikasa cut off his fingers with precision. Eren targeted Shikishima's knee, forcing him to the ground. Jean saw the chance to finish him off and flew towards Shikishima's nape, but Shikishima spotted him, spun around, and was about to strike. At the last second, Eren jumped in, taking the hit instead of Jean. Shikishima stood back up and started moving toward the bomb, but just as he was about to reach it, he turned to see Eren transforming into a Titan, triggered by the earlier blow. Both Eren and Shikishima roared with fury and charged at each other, trading powerful punches. But every time Eren attacked, he took more damage himself. Shikishima's Titan body was covered in armor-like plating. Shikishima dominated the fight, knocking Eren to the ground and stomping on him. He was moments away from finishing Eren off for good when Eren grabbed a massive metal rod from the rubble and drove it into Shikishima, piercing through his armor. Gathering all his remaining strength, Eren landed a devastating punch to Shikishima's face, sending him crashing into a building. Defeated, Shikishima started reverting to his human form as Eren let out a victorious scream. Without wasting time, Eren grabbed the bomb, hoisted it onto his back, and began scaling the wall while his comrades followed behind. Eren climbed as high as he could, but his energy drained quickly. Just before passing out, he placed the bomb in position, securing it at the last possible moment before collapsing and losing consciousness. Mikasa noticed Eren was exhausted and in pain, so she rushed toward him and slashed his nape with her blades, bringing him back to his human form. Armin quickly set the bomb to detonate in 5 minutes. Enough time for the team to escape, but then, to everyone's shock, General Kubal appeared on top of the wall, still alive. Somehow he had survived. Kubal sneered and said, "I'll give you money and power if you leave the wall as it is, and hand Eren over to the government." The team refused, standing their ground. Furious, Kubal opened fire, hitting Armin in the leg. "You're all fools," Kubal screamed, his voice echoing through the ruins. Before he could finish, Sasha shot him with an arrow, sending him plummeting off the wall. But Kubal didn't die. Instead, he transformed into a massive titan, the same colossal figure who had kicked down the wall 2 years ago, letting the titans flood in. The team froze in disbelief, then launched into action, attacking Kubal, but they couldn't get close. The heat radiating from his body was too intense. Kubal grabbed the bomb, trying to stop it from exploding. Jean bravely attacked Kubal, hoping to protect the bomb, but Kubal swatted him away with a single, devastating strike, killing him instantly. As Kubal reached for Eren, a rocket suddenly struck him. Captain Hang had arrived just in time, but despite his injuries, Kubal still crawled toward the bomb, determined to destroy it. Seeing a chance, Eren flanked Kubal from behind, racing toward his nape to finish him. Meanwhile, the 5-minute countdown on the bomb ended, but nothing happened. The bomb didn't detonate. Kubal had destroyed its core. Desperate, Mikasa rushed to the bomb, trying to fix the core, even though she had no idea how. Then, to everyone's shock, Shikishima reappeared, alive after his brutal fight with Eren. He approached Mikasa, disappointed. "You chose safety over freedom. If humanity keeps hiding behind walls, they'll never be free." Mikasa, determined, answered, "We still have hope. If we kill the tyrant named Kubal, we can save everyone." At the same time, Eren reached Kubal's nape, slashing it open, but before he could finish the job, Kubal grabbed Eren like an insect, ready to crush him. In a last act of heroism, Shikishima climbed the building, holding the bomb. Kubal dropped Eren, confused. Shikishima leapt toward Kubal, shoving the bomb into his mouth. The intense heat of Kubal's body triggered the detonation. The explosion engulfed them both, killing them instantly. The blast destroyed the top section of the wall, sending massive rocks tumbling down, sealing the breach the Titans had used to invade. Eren, caught in the avalanche, struggled to survive, but Mikasa grabbed his hand and pulled him to safety. They climbed to the top of the wall and, for the first time in their lives, saw the ocean stretching out before them. Their dream was finally realized, and they stood in awe of the sea's beauty. And with that, the story of Attack on Titan's 2 live-action parts came to an end. If you watched until the end, don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye-bye!